do I have a story to tell y'all? It's not a non-fictional story. It's not really based on anything real. It's more so based on... Well, I take that back. I guess, if multiverses really do exist, infinite dimensions, infinite possibilities, I guess non-fictional and fictional are just arbitrary, artificial concepts, or constructs, I should say. Because in that case, everything is real. If there are infinite possibilities, anything that you drum up, or that you think of, that's real. But anyways, this is a story of, a lot of people's goals, I should say. A lot of people that I've talked to, their goals, and their goals are pretty simple. Physically, lose fat, build muscle. Mentally, be intelligent and happy. Boom. So, my story kind of starts with the easiest ways to do that. And, the way to do it is easy, but the way to stay consistent through hardship and whatever else, that's the tough part. That's the juicy part of the story. So there is this guy in, let's call it he lives in Iceland, right? Cool. Lives in Iceland, wants to put on muscle, wants to lose fat, and he meets this other jabroni who is wanting to be happy and intelligent. Now, they both have these goals in mind, and they both are very stubborn to get to their goals. But they're kind of missing two sides of the equation, because in reality, their goals, their respective goals, are gonna help each other get to their other goals as well. So, you can't really, be happy and intelligent without a healthy body, and you can't build muscle and lose fat without knowing what you're doing and managing stress. So these two, they start training for their goals, right? Like they're grinding just day in, day out. One of them is going to the gym, keeping their nutrition in check, managing stress like a pro. The other one is also managing stress like a pro, but also has their head in books, So he's reading a lot, and he's also learning from experience. So he's trying it out. He's trying out, different ways to boost his intelligence, and he's also trying to teach others what he's learning, because he heard that old adage that the fastest way to learn is to teach. So they're doing their thing, they're training. 3 months down the line, they both get to their goals. They, at least a little bit. It's not as much as they would have wanted. They reached a few milestones, but they didn't reach their full potential as far as whatever their goals were. So, the one guy who was trying to build muscle and lose fat, he built a little bit of muscle. Like, let's say he built, a fourth of a pound of muscle a month, which, naturally, it's pretty darn good. It's not bad. But he could have been putting on about 5 pounds of muscle a year, and all he needed was just the right plan, and he needed to do a little more research. Now, on the other side of things with the other guy, he was boosting his intelligence. He was, he got to know a lot more about whatever he wanted to learn. He was pretty happy, he was managing stress pretty well, and he he was almost content. There's always that itch. He kind of had this hunger to boost his intelligence, but they didn't reach their fullest potential when it came to their goals because they weren't doing what the other person was doing. The person who was trying to build muscle and lose fat, he wasn't doing enough research, and the person who was doing all the research in the world, his nutrition was a little off. He wasn't training that much, and he just wasn't keeping his body as healthy as he could. And so the moral of this story is you need all of it. Like, you can't expect to get to your goals if you leave something out, because it's all, at the end of the day, it's all an equation. First part of the equation, you just gotta believe that you can do it. And I know that sounds corny, but it's true. If you don't believe it, you're not gonna get there. And then second, you gotta have practical steps to get to your end goal. Third, you gotta have a way to track your progress. And then fourth, you gotta have a way to adjust whatever you're doing according to the results that you're getting. And then fifth is being content, but also hungry. So I've always kind of leaned towards the side of always hungry. I'm like, I have a good time, but I've had a tendency to not give myself credit where credit is due. And so kind of changing it up and just giving yourself a little more kindness, it goes a long way. So that being said, I'd say that's a good like a 5-step program to get to wherever your goals are. And I wouldn't overcomplicate it. Like, that's where a lot of people go wrong, is that there are infinite possibilities, like we were saying. And so there are infinite things to overthink about. And I would just start with the basics based on whatever your goals are, and then adjust accordingly, and just have freaking fun. It's life's too short to worry about all these little things. In reality, we're tiny little specks of dust in this life. We're not really, I don't want to say our life is meaningless, even though there are arguments to make for that. But at the same time, if it's meaningless, then it's equally as meaningful, because it's just from two different perspectives. Saying it's meaningless is coming from a place of yourself. It's like you're gonna live, you're gonna die, boom. That's that. It's meaningless. But then on the other hand, it could come from a place of not yourself, but from the universe, where you come from this place of everything that everyone does has some sort of ripple effect on the rest of the universe. And so whatever you do, make sure that it's meaningful, and make sure that it's tried and true to you and whatever your passion is. That's I think the cheat code in this life is just living with passion. That's pretty much it. So that's my story. Hope you all enjoyed it. For today, man, we got good old-fashioned leg day. And this is the first leg day that we have on good old-fashioned HCG and IGFLR3. Oh man, and this is going to be a fun one, because leg pumps are just, they're a little extra fun when you get some added supplements in the mix. But we're feeling good. We got pre-workout, we got glycerol, and we have a good amount of nutrients in my belly. But other than that, I think, man, I really don't have a lot to add to any of this. I think the plan for today is pretty straightforward. We're gonna to have some sort of movement for inner thighs, some sort of movement for quads, some sort of movement for hamstrings, some sort of movement for calves. Probably throw in some tibialis there just to keep the knees, the ankles, and the hips supple and also strong. But head, shoulders, knees and toes. Anytime that I say that whole chain, I kind of think of that song. But anyways, that's pretty much the plan. We're just gonna go freaking ham. Did not get a meditation in this morning. We were, stayed up a little too late last night, but dude, I don't know what it is. It's just these supplements make your sleep a lot more efficient. So I'm not in the least bit tired today, even though I, didn't get as much sleep as I could have last night. So we just didn't have time to get our meditation in this morning, but we're gonna make the most of this workout, probably get a meditation in after, and then we're gonna grub, get another meditation in later. But right now I am focused on getting the fullest leg pump that I can possibly get, because earlier on this week, I know y'all saw it, we went to Planet Fitness and we had barely any time. I mean, I'm talking 15-20 minutes kind of a workout. So what do? We prioritize what we needed to prioritize. That means inner thighs, hamstrings, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we really just needed that at the end of the day. So it was a lot of fun. But that being said, it's like you're playing a game and you're handicapped in a sense, like you didn't play it as much as you wanted to, and so you want a rematch, right? Like that's how I feel with this leg day today. So we're definitely, I don't want to say we're getting our revenge, but oh man, I'm just getting excited talking about it. So I mean, that being said, I'm probably gonna blast some tunes right now. We're gonna go freaking crazy on this leg day.
Come on. No. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Oh, yeah. Come here. Oh. 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 Come here. No. No. We got all the reps. Let's drop it off. Get some more in here. Ah. Ah. Oh. Definitely feel my glutes engaged.